Thank you so much. Mr. Al Randolph, here he is, a minute late. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the call this morning. We have a great call lined up for you today. This gentleman, I just love this young man. He's an amazing leader in ACN. I've been following his whole career. He's done a fantastic job, and I have so much respect for him. He lives in Chicago. Normally, I put out a text to, Chicago gangsters or the Chicago gang. So anyway, he lives out in Chicago, Illinois. He had a saying, either be very humble or this business will humble you. He is a student of the game. I like that about him. He says ACN is like a gym, and his ego, he says, has held him back. But anyway, August 17th, his 8th year in ACN. That's right. August 17th was his 8th year in ACN. And he has built such a tremendous organization, not only in Chicago, but it outflows into many other cities around the United States, coast to coast. Wonderful job he's done. Without further ado, Mr. Cesar Tapia. Are you there, sir? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning from Chicago, Illinois.
Good morning, everybody. How are you, Mr. Thomas?
Very good, sir. You look so handsome as always.
Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you this morning. It's always a treat. Before I say anything, excuse me. I thought my desk was we just moved into our new home. Thank you, ACN, and
congratulations.
Thank you. I thought my desk was supposed to be in yesterday, but so we're making it happen. I'm in my kitchen, but nonetheless, I'm honored, I'm excited, and I'm ready to be here with you all, Mr. Thomas. Thanks for allowing me to speak with the crew. I see some familiar faces. Good to see you all, some new faces, but thanks for having me on, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate you, sir. I look forward to it.
Thank you for taking your time out, sir, as you move into your new place to see the blessings of ACN, but thank you so much for sharing with us. I can't wait. I'm ready to take a bunch of notes, sir. It's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Well, before I say anything, ladies and gents, for those of you that don't know me, a little over 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, I got introduced to ACN, and I was at a point in my life where I was hungry for opportunity. I don't know, maybe you could relate. I was very grateful for my corporate job, but I knew that it was important to have a secondary stream of income. I got introduced to ACN from a friend who was very excited about it. And because he was excited, I got excited. I took a look at the opportunity, and it just made too much sense. And little did I know that my plan B was going to turn into my plan A after about 7.5 months of building ACN. Now here we are. Yeah, it's incredible. I wake up every day. I was just talking to my wife. If you would have told me before I got involved in ACN, I'd be here with you all, be on a call with Mr. Al Tom. I remember seeing Mr. Thomas at my first convention. And you guys know Mr. Al Thomas, he leaves an impression on you. And I remember I said, man, I got to get to know him. And now here we are, good friends. And, I get to learn from him directly. And I'll tell you guys, I am just a direct reflection of the ACN environment. Mr. Thomas talked about it. I'm from Chicago, and I was born and raised in let's say the hood, so to speak, right? The neighborhood where most people, when you come from those areas, you don't do, make it big in life, so to speak, right? But I had to change that curse. As a matter of fact, I just reconnected with one of my good friends. He was incarcerated for when we were in high school. He just got out recently, a great individual, and he's looking for opportunity and hope. He's changed his life around, born again individual. And I just share that with you because that's a little bit about my journey over the last 7 years. And now here we are, just purchased a brand new home. We had to upgrade. And I'll tell you, just to be able to see the face on the look on my son's face, now he gets to invite all of his friends from class, and being able to see my mom, my mother-in-law, they come on over, guys. And I'll tell you, it's just because of residual income in ACN. And it's kind of cool. Our neighbors on the block, none of them are home right now. Except for the older ones, and they look at me. They're probably like, what does this guy do? And they're all going to know really soon. But it's kind of funny, the looks they give me with the car we drive around and the lifestyle we get to live. But I just share that humbly because that's what ACN has provided for my family. And although we're going through these uncertain times, right? I'm sure we could all agree the beginning of 2020, we all had our goals and dreams, 2020 vision. And then what happens come March, right? The crazy pandemic. It's just incredible. It's just craziness that's happening, right? And so since March, I just wanted to share some things with you guys. Some things that have really worked for me within our organization, what has helped us stay on track, because it's easy to get off track, with everything that's happening, with the whole presidential election, with the pandemic, the news, there's so much happening, the mental state, depression on the rise, so much craziness is happening out there. And so, just being aware of that, I realized that as leaders, I had this conversation with my team a couple months ago. It's important that now more than ever, we remain focused on what's important. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to come out of this bigger, better, stronger. And then there's going to be other individuals that it's very unfortunate that they're going to come out and they're going to be in some very, very tough situations. And, we're in a leadership business. And so I realize it's important that everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything starts at the top. And so, now more than ever, I've really been focusing on personal growth, on setting goals. It's easy to get consumed on the negativity, the craziness, but every single day, I've ramped up my personal growth. I have family members, and, you can't avoid your family members. You love them. And a lot of my family members, they don't get these types of conversations. They're so consumed with everything that's happening. And we're human beings, right? You become the company you keep. And there's sometimes I found myself, them rubbing off on me. And I said, hold on once. You ever been around someone so negative? Like you need to take a shower after you're around them. It's just not good, right? And I've had so I had to refocus. I had to get back on track. And I share that with you because even me as a regional vice president, I had to remind myself of why I was doing ACN. I had to remind myself that, this is a season of life and this too shall pass. And so since March, every single day, it's kind of crazy. Happy birthday to me, March 18th. I think that's when they announced the pandemic, right? March 18th, March 19th. And that was my birthday. And so I made a commitment that day going forward that I was going to be different, that I was going to lead by example. And so one thing I really realized during these times is Zoom has been a blessing in disguise, right? I don't know how long you've been in ACN. I know maybe a lot of you are fairly brand new, and maybe some of you are from the old school ACN days. But right now, in my humble opinion, there's never been a better time to build ACN with what's available here. I mean, I've always said I wanted a real home-based business, right? We always said that we wanted to be able to build this wherever. We used to say home-based business, but we'd be at hotels all the time, right? I don't know if I'll go back to a hotel meeting, being able to maintain production this year. Back in the day, if I wanted to go and say, hang out with a friend across state and show him the business, I'd have to get in my car. I'd have to pack. I'd have to plan. It was a lot, entailed gas and nothing worse than traveling across state for someone to say they want to think about it. Right now, you can get them on a Zoom call. Today at 3:30 p.m., I'm doing a Zoom for one of my business partners in Mexico. Then we're going to run to the furniture store, get some other furniture. We're going to wrap up. I'll be back home by 7 o'clock for our global team call. And 9 o'clock, I have an appointment to help our brand new partner get qualified who got started yesterday. And it's just great to know that as crazy as things are for every single one of us, with the e-learning, right? How many of us are wearing 4 different hats that we didn't sign up for, right? You're a teacher, you're a mom. I tell my wife, she is like super mom. The things that she does, maintaining our business and the household. And so all this happening and all this craziness, and here we are with the blessing of ACN. Right now, I'll tell you, there's people I'm coming across, and you guys, I'm sure, are finding this the same. People right now are open. People that we've showed maybe ACN to in the past who are now looking for hope and opportunity. People are looking to make a real residual income. And I'll tell you, the fact that you guys have a leader like a Mr. Al Thomas, man, we don't have an upline SVP. And, so whenever I get a chance to rub elbows with an SVP get to learn directly or get any coaching, you know, I don't take it for granted. You know, Mr. Thomas thanks me for being able to pour into you guys, but little does he know, I'm thanking him for even acknowledging me and allowing me to speak to you guys. So, you know, with that, guys, ACN has been a complete blessing during these crazy times, you know. So I had a couple notes of just maybe some things that hopefully I can share with you that could, you know, shed some light and give you guys some value. You know, a couple goals that we set within our organization. And these are goals that I believe, regardless of how busy you are or what you got going on outside of ACN, you know, these are goals that I believe anybody could do. You know, we have single moms in our organization. We have teachers. We have construction workers. We have overnight workers. We have students. I just signed up an attorney, realtors, all walks of life, right? And so people have their different schedules, but it's just so attractive to know that as long as you have internet access, as long as you could plug into a system, you could build this bad boy as big, as fast, at you liking the cracks of your schedule. So I told my team, you know, I said, why don't we focus on some goals? And so what we do is, and this is me, I personally take this goal on as well too, is 5 peaks per day, every single day. Like that's our goal. That's my goal. I don't lay my head down. My wife knows if I go to bed at 4 o'clock, at 11:30 at night, and I got 4 peaks. Hold on, honey. I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven real quick. I go to the gas station. I gotta get someone on Facebook, right? Because those are goals that we set out within our organization. And I realize that as a leader, I can't tell my team to do something that I'm not doing myself, even as an RVP, right? Believe it or not, your team sees what you do, right? And one of the advantages of being in the leadership position is you get to lead other individuals. You get to see them impact their lives. But I'll tell you, they're going to be watching you. They're going to be watching your example. So we're always peaking every single day. Everyone in our organization, we have our thread. We're doing 5 peaks and 1 exposure per day. That's a goal, no matter what, that everyone within our organization is doing. You know, ensure that we have other people who have, you know, their bigger goals. Some people now have app goals per day, but it started with just the peaks. I believe that peaks is something attainable that you can measure, right? I mean, some of us literally, if you really were intentional about your goals, you know, sometimes I believe that we set these goals and, you know, what's missing is the intention. I mean, when I tell my team 5 exposures, if you're really focused on it, you can knock 5 exposures out probably in 10 minutes, right? If you're really, really focused on it, you know? And so with social media and the internet, I mean, we have thousands of contacts. And what happens is I see what our team who's been doing these peak and exposure goals. What happens is their confidence goes up. Now they're peaking people that maybe they wouldn't peak in the past. I told them, detach yourself from what the person says. And what happens is they're peaking now. They're building confidence. They're getting excited. They're getting more people to be exposed to the business. And a lot of them now are rendering results. And on top of that, they're keeping their pipeline full. Some people who started, you ever get an IBO or a business partner who said, I'm running out of people to talk to, right? And it's like, no, you're not. There's so many people to talk to out there, right? And so this helps them expand their mind. There's people who's been doing this peak goal, and now at the end of the month, they're like, man, I peaked 150 people. I had 29 of them get exposed, and now they can follow back up with people as well too. So, you know, that's just something that we've been doing within our organization. It's been working. I've even seen people who maybe weren't big recruiters in the past for whatever reason are now excited about going out there and knocking out their peak goals, which is rendering them presentation exposures, which is rendering them IBOs and rendering them results. So that's something that's been working extremely effective within our organization. Just some other things. Anything else, Mr. Thomas? Feel free if you want me to touch up on something else. If anything pops out.
So I tell you what, I like. See, a lot of people don't know about Chicago, and I want you to maybe talk about the part of Chicago you come from to be to where you're at. I'm so proud of where you came. You could have went either direction, but you chose this route. So I want people to understand where you came from in Chicago and like I've speakers before in the past that I love people to tell where they came from to get where they're at. And we see that beautiful home. I love the shelving in the back. I love your vent over the stove top there. I love it. But I want people, and we're sitting there looking, and I love your shirt. And I'm sitting there, but I know, but I want people to kind of know a little bit about who you are and some of your daily mode of operation to get you from where you were to where you got today. So if you could talk a little bit about your past, where you came from, and where you're at when you saw AC and to where you are today. I love that.
Yes, absolutely, Mr. Thomas. Believe it or not, it was crazy. Uh, it's truly humbling. Um, and the only thing I could give it to is God's grace. You know, to be honest, to where I was 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago. You know, before ACN, you don't realize that, you know, one of the biggest things about ACN, I think what toast people out or why they don't continue with the business is because you really get to meet the person in the mirror. You know, I came into ACN with a lot of baggage, um, and you know, and that comes from my upbringing, what I was exposed to. I said it earlier. I was raised by a single mom. I remember the little attic apartment we lived in. I mean, you should have seen. I should have took a video seeing my mom walk in our place. But I remember living in an attic, and there was nails sticking out of the roof. And I remember it was a 1 bedroom, and to me that was, I mean, we were happy. That's all we knew. That's all we thought was available. And so we didn't talk about money growing up. You know, the rock stars in our neighborhood were the hustlers, to be honest, the drug dealers, right? Those are the ones. And since I grew up without a dad, I was always seeking out an example. And so those are the only examples I knew was hustle. And so I was attracted to the nice things, the nice lifestyle, but I realized doing it illegally wasn't going to be a good result. And so I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really share this much, but this is leadership, and it is what it is, right? Everyone they say every saint has a past and every sinner has a future, right? You know, before ACN, I was hanging around the wrong guys. We were out in the streets hustling. And, you know, so when I took a look at ACN, it was like perfect timing. My son, CJ, like, I thank God for ACN. Like, my son, CJ, was 5 years old when I saw ACN. He just turned 13. He's a teenager. It's crazy, right? And so coming in this environment, I had to grow a lot, you know, and people like Mr. Thomas, I'll be honest, when I saw him wearing the Louis and the Gator, I never saw anybody living that lifestyle or with legally, to be honest. And so I was always seeking mentorship, I was always looking to grow from other people because I didn't have that example growing up. And so I realized that I could either be a victim or be a victor, right? You hear a lot of individuals and they use those backgrounds in their stories. I mean, I could have used I raised by a single mom, no dad example, hanging around the wrong crowd. A stepfather came into my life at the age of 11 and he was an abusive alcoholic. You know, all these things that take place, you don't realize that it's building you and prepping you for your future. And so when I saw ACN, I said, man, dear God, I said, if this is what you're sending me and this is going to be my chance and my ticket, I got to make it happen. And it was everything I was looking for: residual income, freedom. That's why I was attracted to that lifestyle, to be honest. Yeah, the nice stuff, but the freedom, right? The mentorship, being able to learn from individuals like a Mr. Thomas. And so it's crazy. Now I talk to people, I run into people at the gym or out in the street or whatever, and they're like, man, Caesar, is that you? Like you changed. And before I used to take it personal, because from where I come from, people say never change. You don't never want to change for nobody. And I embody that. I don't change for nobody. I'm a gangster. And I realized that, I remember Jay-Z said, he goes, I didn't work this hard to stay the same. Absolutely, I changed, right? And so it's just incredible now, Mr. Thomas. You know, the money, The lifestyle is incredible, but the person you become. I remember I would hear leaders say that, you know, the person you become in the process. And I'm like, yeah, forget about that. Send me the check. But I realized that who you become in the process is very important, right? The growth, the mental capacity, the things that I learned from individuals like a Mr. Al Thomas, man. And so now here we are 7 years later, you know, 10,000 monthly paying customers. And man, I don't never take it for granted, because here's what I realized, that as fast as this came, it could be taken away. And I'm only as good as my organization. And so, yeah, Mr. Thomas, it's ACN. I tell people it changes lives. It saves lives. Like, think about it. It's crazy to say this. Like, I never even have a relationship with the Lord before ACN, right? Remember, I always say you either gotta be humble or get humbled. I thought I had it all together. And I'll tell you, ACN, the mentorship, the environment. Man, I had a friend who just hit me up a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Thomas, who's been in the business for a couple months. And you never know what someone's going through, you know, financially, spiritually, mentally. This dude was having nervous breakdowns before ACN because of this whole pandemic. And now, just because of the Zoom culture that we have, the leaderships that we have, my man is a grown A man. He said, man, I'm dreaming again. I got hope and vision for my family. He said, I feel like a provider again. He goes, when my wife looks at me, I feel like she sees someone that she could be proud to be with. And I said, that's what it's about. And what did he pay? $200. All someone had to do was pique him. All someone had to do was send him a link to get on one of these presentations. He made a decision to get started. And now think about the ripple effect that man's going to have on other people's lives, because he ain't the only one. He's the only one that's vocalizing it. And so when I hear stories like that, that gets me fired up to keep going out there and building this business. I'm sure Mr. Thomas agrees. Mr. Thomas doesn't have to keep building ACN, but because the person that he is, and because he knows the impact that you see, it's one thing to become successful, but I realize if you want to become significant, you got to help others achieve success in ACN. And you know, so every day I wake up, man, I thank God. Were there days where you were questioning? Were there days where, and it's not like questioning ACN, it's questioning the person in the mirror. And I think that's the biggest struggle. I think that's the biggest battle, because the services are the services. The opportunity is the opportunity. The leadership set in place. There's no secret service, a special comp plan that Mr. Thomas has, or a special service that he offers through his website. It's the same for everybody. And I don't know about you, but that gets me fired up, because this is the most equal opportunity that you're ever going to have your hands on. When I worked at AT&T for 8 years before ACN, man, I busted my butt, open and close. I took pride in what I did. And it had me at the same position. There was no, it was a ceiling. You see, here at ACN, the better you become, the more people you serve, the money takes care of itself. Once you start focusing on impact, watch your income grow as well too.
Wow, that was wow, sir. Thank you. That was amazing, and I know that what you just said blessed so many people on this call, because a lot of new people never heard you before, seen you on the videos, but never heard you speak before. And I think, and I know for a fact that it's just close to their heart, because a lot of people can relate somewhat to your story. And there's a lot of people like, wow, I had no idea, because now they're sitting there looking at you with your nice Burberry shirt, slack right here, and the beautiful background, but they have no idea that where you came from to get you there by staying humble, because you're one of the most humblest guys I know. You stay humble, or you stay, I love your saying, either be humble or you will get humble. And that's one thing this business have done. And the more you get humble, the more you help people, the more you get exalted. And that's biblical. But I want to thank you for who you are, what you're doing, how you impact. Like I said, I watched you from the distance many times, how you just handled yourself, your wife, your beautiful wife. I see how you love on your son, CJ. You know, you're just an incredible person. And sometimes just by being in your presence, by watching, you can learn so much about the character that you possess and the kind of character and giving you give to your organization. And that's what I've always admired from the distance from you until we start chatting, because I'm the kind of person I want to see what a person's made of. And my friend, I tell you, just an incredible leader, such a great mentor. And I have so much respect for you because how you treat your wife, how you treat your son, how you treat your organization, and you're there giving 110%. And some people stop at 5, but you go, like you said, 11 o'clock, baby, I got one more, I gotta go get one more. And that's what I'm saying. You're leading by example. And that's what a lot of things I respect about you, sir. Leading by example.
And Mr. Thomas, coming from you, I don't take those words lightly, my man. It's just, I'll tell you, regardless of where you're at in your business, we've all been there. Mr. Thomas certainly has been there. He started as an IBO just like every single one of us. And I'll tell you, a big advantage you have is, I've always was seeking out mentorship and leadership. And, I'm a big believer, everything rises and falls on leadership. And the fact that we have individuals like a Mr. Thomas and all the other leaders that pour into us, man, we can't take it for granted. My organization always says, what's the best way I can pay you back, Caesar? And I say, you know what? It's not even me. It's our organization. I said, the best way you can pay me back is by going out, changing your life through the ACN opportunity, building it with integrity the right way. Because let's face it, in this industry, we have a bad rep because there's a lot of weenies out there. A lot of people who get involved and they disrespect the opportunity. And so I tell my team that we have a responsibility to show up like the professionals that we are. And if you show up that way, you're going to attract the right individuals into your organization. And so regardless of where you're at in your business, if you're popping and you're in massive momentum, if you're not and you're trying to figure this thing out, maybe you're questioning if you can make this happen. I just hopefully my story inspired some of you on this line to keep pushing, to keep going, keep peaking. And I'm telling you, you're this close to that next breakthrough. There's people for sure in your phone book, people for sure on your social media who are waiting for you to reach out to them and share this blessing of ACN. And so I think as long as you come from that place, and when you make recruiting about the individual and not about yourself, you don't want the commission breath, right? People can feel that. Make it about them and watch what happens to your organization. But it's always great to be here with every single one of you guys, Mr. Thomas. I hope some of you guys got some good stuff and some good value out of this conversation.
One last question, sir. I know you gave us a lot in this 30 minutes we had you. Speak to the hearts, 2 things. It's a 2-part. Speak to the hearts of a brand new IBO been in less than 60 days, and speak to the heart of an IBO who's been in the last year, if you can, just in closing.
So for a new person, I'll share this with you. We talk about it often. I think it's important, and it could be often overlooked, is you got to have a big why. And I remember my why was like, yeah, all right, cool story. Just send me the check. I want to get paid. I want to make 10, 20, 30K a month. Let's go. But get real with yourself. Really ask yourself, why are you doing this business of ACN? And so when I got real with myself, that's when the light switch went off. That's when the shift happened. That's when things started. That's when we had our first 5-figure month in ACN, because I wrote my why down. You see, my why was my mom, raised by a single mom. She did the best with what she knew. And unfortunately, she didn't set herself up with a financial game plan to be able to retire. She's working at a school district right now. And she's working there not because she wants to, but because she has to. So I wrote that down as my why, that I said that I want to retire my mom, and it's going to happen. That's why we got to hit gold next year. That's another conversation, right? But write your why down, make it something near to dear to you. For those of you that have kids on this line, I don't know about you, but when I had hard days, I would just think about my son, CJ. I would think about how my grandfather got up 6 days a week for 13, 14, 15-hour shifts, Rain, sleet, or snow, no excuses, sick or not, and never missed a day of work. And here I am, questioning if I can make this business happen, questioning if I can continue to go forward. You see, I don't know about you, but when I write my why down, my family's on the board, my mom's on the board, my team's relying on me on the board, I can't quit. You see, calm storms never revealed great captains. You learn a lot about yourself, not when you're at the mountaintops, but when you're in the valleys. And I'm sharing that with you because there's going to be seasons of ACN where you're popping, you're killing it, and there's going to be some seasons where maybe you're questioning it. So if you're brand new, commit that you're going to be here 3 to 6 months from now. And once you're here 3 to 6 months from now, commit to be here another 3 to 6 to 12 months from now. Because you never know when that breakthrough is going to happen. I've seen people quit right before, just fall short. And nothing worse than quitting short of gold. And if you've been in ACN for a while, regardless of where you're at, here's what I could tell you. ACN, this is the time to get fired up about ACN. ACN has never been better. The compensation plan, I mean, let's face it, the co-founders are doing everything that they could possibly do, to set us up to win. And I'll tell you, this season right now, more leaders are going to be birthed through this season based upon the work we're putting in now. I'm also a big believer that how you close out the year is a big indicator of how you start off with 2021. You see, nothing worse than waiting. The worst thing you could do is say, I'm going to wait until January 1st to kick this thing. And listen, we have 6 weeks left, right? We can get ahead of the masses. You can hit the reset button today. You can turn it up a notch today. You can make this your biggest closeout of the year. And I'm telling you, set yourself up for 2021. But if you think that you're going to just go through the motions and just sit back like everybody else and get caught up in the drama and get caught up in the craziness and expect your 2021 to look different, like I'm here to tell you, it just doesn't work out that way. So my call to action, every single one of us, wherever we're at today, is let's make a commitment to close 2021 strong. Let's make a commitment to represent the ACN opportunity, Mr. Thomas's opportunity, with the utmost integrity. And that's what's going to separate us from any other company in the industry. So, man, I can't wait to see many of you on this call hitting your next promotions. I can't wait to see many of you on this call cashing fat checks. And, write your why down. Stay focused, stay committed, and watch what happens in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months. You're going to see how your life's going to be in a completely different state. So hopefully that was some good stuff that you got, Thomas, from.
Sir, that was so fantastic. You know, they say like minds think alike. I can't tell you how many times I preached, taught, brought. You got to work the holidays. It's a holiday, not a hollow week or a hollow month. And I've said that a zillion times on my calls and other people's calls. When I made a decision, draw the line in the sand, as Mr. Greg Palmozano would say, I drew the line in the sand September 2008. I drew the line in the sand. I said I got September, October, November, December, January with momentum. February, I hit SVP because I worked through the holiday. Hello, everybody. I took 3 days off in November, the day before Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. I put my head down, went to work. My momentum was building where everybody was going this way because they're partying and trickle thing got them. Then the holiday came with some guy with a white beard coming down the chimney. We didn't have a chimney. If he came down my chimney, he got shot. Anyway, and I took the day before Christmas, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th off, put my head down, went right back to work. I only took 6 days off, and people wondering how do I hit SVP? Because like you, my friend, I worked through the holiday. The perfect time is how you end it is how you begin it. I started off 2009 with so much momentum. I didn't hear nothing about what happened with the housing market. I was so focused like you are, sir. I was so focused. It didn't matter to me. I was so focused to get the job done. So once again, Mr. Caesar, sir, thank you, Mr. Tapia. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. And what is what happened August 5th, 2020.
What was that? Oh,
August 5th.
the ACN, our ACN anniversary.
Your ACN anniversary. There you go. All right.
And you know what?
Sir,
I want to thank you. I mean, the fact that you took time out of your schedule to reach out to me, Mr. Thomas, man, I don't take it for granted. And here's what I know. If someone like Mr. Thomas says that they work through the holiday seasons and an SVP tells you to get to work, I don't ask questions. I don't take this mentorship for granted. It's time to close out this year strong, 100%.
Well, sir, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Tell all your lovely wife. Give CJ a hug for me. And man, congratulate. Can we show Mr. Tapia some love? Beautiful house, beautiful conversation. He's just moving, still put the time aside so he could bless us from all over the world. We got people on here from Japan, from UK, from Canada, United States, did I say Japan? And also Australia. So we want to thank you, sir, for your insight. Thank you so much for this sharing to help other people. And that's what the trust sign of a good leader is called: unconditional teaching and loving and giving. So God bless you through the holiday, my friend. Thank you so much. And enjoy that beautiful house.
Appreciate you all. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. God bless. Everybody, tonight,